Hi everyone. For today's Family Sangha Dharma talk, Jikai and I would like to offer you two short Zen stories. The first one is from this book, Two Moons, Short Zen Stories, written by Shunmyo Sato and illustrated by Kyuji Inoue, and translated into English by people we know, such as our current Bishop Shugen Komagata, his late wife Faye, and former Bishop Jiho Machida. Two Moons. So this story is called Heaven and Hell. The narrator begins by saying, lately there's been a boom in travel, and people who have traveled abroad are not at all rare. But people who have been to hell and paradise and back, as I have, are few. And you might even say that maybe I'm the only one. Today I'm going to tell you about what I saw there. When we think of hell, we think of red and blue devils and dead people who did wicked things in their lives. And we imagine the devils chasing these people up mountains of needles, boiling them in great pots, pounding them in mortars. I'd heard that hell was truly a fearful place, but thought that this maybe was somewhat exaggerated. And so I went to take a look at hell for myself. And when I arrived, it happened to be lunchtime. When I entered the dining hall and looked around, I was surprised to see that it was a tidy dining hall with long tables. And on these tables were lined up large bowls filled with delicious food. This is strange, I thought. And then I looked at the people seated on both sides of the table. Good heavens! They were only skin and bones. Their eyes were sunken. Their faces were pallid, and they appeared to be ravenously hungry. I thought to myself, gee, this is strange. Why are these people so thin and hungry when there's so much food in front of them? But when I looked closely, I saw that their left hands had been tied to their chairs, and their right wrists were tied to these very long spoons. And then the lunch bell rang. Just what you think was going to happen. So these very hungry, thin, emaciated people started scooping the food and trying to bring the food to their mouths, only to spill their food over and over again, scooping their food, trying. The spoons were too long and they were tied to their chairs, so no matter how hard they tried and scooped this wonderful food, they were never able to bring the food to their mouths. Oh, what misery, I thought. It was time to leave the scene. So I left. And next I went to visit heaven. And it just so happened that it was mealtime in heaven. So I entered the dining room and looked around. To my surprise, it looked like the same scene that I had seen in hell. But when I looked at the people, they looked so happy and plump, and they were smiling and laughing. Oh, but they too had one hand tied to a chair, and in the other hand were the same long spoons. I wondered what was going to happen. Then the meal bell rang. And these happy, smiling people got their spoons and dipped them into the delicious bowls of food. And guess what? They fed each other and had pleasant conversation. How was your day today, Amy?
Oh, fine, thank you.
And they scooped their food and they fed others across from them. And scooped their food and fed others across the table until all were happy and satisfied. This was very impressive, I thought. So I left heaven. Although the two places, heaven and hell, were set up in exactly the same way, as you can see, the degree of happiness or misery was vastly different. The people in hell could only think of themselves grasping and craving and desiring food just for me, myself, and I. And they were miserable. Whereas the people in heaven knew how to feed one another, how to take care of one another. They thought of others before themselves, and this was a happy realm indeed. So thank you for watching. We're going to close the video now and set up for our next skit on heaven and hell, another Zen story to come.